In this class, Exploring Physical Science, we'll need to be able to do what other scientists do, which is measure quantities. One of the quantities we'll be measuring and talking about is mass. We're definitely going to be using the metric system. I'm sure you're probably familiar with it, and I'll tell you which metric prefixes you need to have a handle on. But the metric system actually is part of internationally how scientists talk about quantities. So the international system, or SI system, has mass. We use the standard unit of kilogram. Length. Length is the distance between 2 points, point A and point B. And length in the international system, we use the meter, simply the meter. Temperature, we'll be talking more about this in the unit on chemistry when we talk about all matter has a particular temperature, a particular amount of kinetic energy is measured when we talk about its temperature. And you're probably used to looking out the window and saying it's what the temperature is outside. Is it 72 degrees Fahrenheit? Let me go ahead and emphasize that. Is it degrees Fahrenheit? Or if you are in Europe, it's probably degrees Celsius, maybe Canada. But in the metric, or excuse me, in the international system, we talk about Kelvin, units of Kelvin. So for instance, 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 units on the Kelvin scale, 273.15 units on the Kelvin scale. So Kelvin is the international system of measuring temperature. The next one we won't get into until we talk about the chemistry unit, and we'll talk a little bit about something called a mole. In science, we need to be able to, the way I think is, count very small things. And a mole is, I'll go ahead and tell you because the next thing we're going to talk about in part 1 is scientific notation. I'll just go ahead and tell you that if you count a mole of particles, okay, you count 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles. That's 1 mole of particles. It's very similar to if you go and get your eggs, 1 dozen eggs. How many eggs do you have? You have 12 eggs. So we say 1 mole is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles. So anyway, it's a way of counting particles. We won't do much this semester with regard to physics and electricity, but the standard unit of electric current is the ampere. And time, we're going to have to do a little bit with that when we're talking about the motion of objects, distance and time. And so time, the standard unit is in seconds. So I said that, and when we get to the unit on astronomy, we talk about how bright stars are, how much energy stars are putting out, and we're not going to get down to the nitty-gritty of that too much. But the luminosity of an object is the standard units in candles. So the metric prefixes I need you to know are coming up. But here's a little reminder of the metric versus the English system. So here we have 30 miles per hour is equal to 50 kilometers per hour. Okay. So here's a bunch of metric prefixes. You see this right here are the prefixes. So we have a prefix exa, penta, tetra, giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deca. These are all bigger. I'll put big. These are all bigger than what we say the base unit. And then these are all smaller. I'll put small here. Okay. Some of them sound familiar, some of them probably don't. The ones that I picked for you to know this semester for sure on a test or something like that without this aid of a table or your textbook are here. There's only 4 of them, and they are kilo. So let's find kilo. Of the 4, only one of them is bigger than what we call the base unit. If you have a kilogram instead of a regular gram, you have 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. That's how that works. Let's look at the next one. The next three actually are all smaller. So this one's big and the other are small. Let's see. If you have 1 centimeter, oh, here they are. They're all next to each other. Centi, milli, and micro. If you have 1 centimeter, guess what? You have, hopefully you guys buy this, you have 1/100th of a meter. That's how that works. Let's see. I guess that'll do for now. So know those 4 prefixes, and homework you might need to know other prefixes as well.